Why do you want to be a CBP officer or Border Patrol agent? If that question takes you more than 2 seconds to answer, you are not ready for the interview. That's just the facts. And the reason why is this. There's two types of ways to answer your interview questions. There are the thinkers, and there are the ones who are already cocked and loaded. The ones who answer that question within 2 seconds are cocked and loaded. You have to be able to answer that question quick because you know it's going to come your way. The reason why you know is because I'm telling you this right now. I've been doing this for 5 years. I know what they ask you at the interview phase. That is a cock and loaded type question. Boom. Let it out. Tell them why you're there. What's going on? Why you want to be that, right? Whether you want to be a CBP or Border Patrol agent, that's a fast type answer to the question. It should not be a thinker. A thinker is when they get you into the situational questions at the interview. Yeah, think for a few seconds before you answer that question. But the question about why you want to be BP or why you want to be CBP, those are automatic answers. In the one-on-one, you will see that. And the reason why I know this is because I see this all the time. I hear it all the time. Those questions, that question there will definitely come your way at some point in the interview. Usually it's the first part of the interview. You should be ready, okay? Number 2 announcement, guys, I had to open up my one-on-ones again. My one-on-one interview practice is open again. This is my 12th time doing this. I had to close it down for the past 4 months. I had too many applicants asking for one-on-one, which was great, right? But at the same time, I want to make sure I give you guys a good quality interview with analysis and post follow-up calls. I can't do that at a quality level if I have too many people going for that. So right now it's open again. If you want to get a one-on-one to book with me, go down below, click the link, and there you go to my calendar, book your one-on-one with me. It's for an hour, and then it has 3 or 4 calls, 5 calls, whatever after that. I always make follow-up calls with you guys before you go to your interview. I make sure you are ready. So if you want a one-on-one with a realistic example of what it's like to get an interview with CBP, book. That's all you got to do, okay? Now let's get right down to it. I'm going to give you 7 reasons why people are failing the interview. The first reason is this. They don't understand that the interview portion becomes an underestimated part of the exam because of the process because, well, you passed that exam, right? You guys already know, a lot of you already know who took my exam prep. You guys already know it's tough. But 91% of those who take my exam prep pass the actual exam because, again, I know what's going to be on it. I know it's coming at you. That's why I have my exam prep down below as well, the link for you. But it gets underestimated to the point that 42% of people going into the interview do not pass the interview. They're not ready. They are just not ready. The CBP interview is unlike any interview in your whole life. Most interviews, they're not asking you situational questions. It's very rare. But they're asking you those questions at the CBP interview. So I'm here to make sure you pass. First question I want to ask you is, are you ready for the interview? Let's see if you are. Let's go through the 7 reasons why people fail the interview. The first one is they don't understand the format. I kind of said that earlier. A CBP interview is not like any other interview out there. It's highly structured, scenario-based, right? And they score it on a rubric, right? A score, they all have the same type scores, all 3 or 4 people who are interviewing you. And your interviewers, their agents are their CBP officers, right? They know what's going on. They know if you're trying to wing it, if you're trying to just do it halfway, right? They know those things already, and they know if you are prepared or not. Number 2 is that you're giving vague or short answers. In my one-on-one, you guys out there who know this from me already, who've been through my one-on-ones, some of you guys hate me. I know you do, but now you wear the badge. But the reason why I don't allow for vague or short answers is because they do not allow that. And we are going to work on expanding your answers so they can understand, oh, this person has some experience, or they understand the question very well, or they get the mission, right? When you're answering short and vague answers, they know you don't know what the heck you're talking about. They're looking for depth. They're looking for you dig into the minutia of the question. You answer it like a professional. What you did, why you did it, what happened, and also always how you ended it. Think of the situational questions like a book, right? A beginning, every book has an introduction. Every book has an introduction, a middle, and an ending. It's the same way there, okay? But with me, with a one-on-one, I'll show you the formula how to do that. It's not that rough, okay? Number 3, it happens all the time, is that people who are not ready, they panic under the pressure. You have 3 or 4 agents look at you, not smiling. They're not a bunch of smilers there. They look at you like you better have some answers, right? Being nervous is fine. That's normal. But being scared, they can see. When you're scared at the interview, you're not ready for the interview. It's that simple, you guys. It's that simple. The reason why you're scared because you're not ready for the test, for the interview test, right? You're not prepared, okay? They're going to put you through some high-stress situations. That's a guarantee, right? And they're going to show how good you do. Even though they know you are a civilian, they still expect a paramilitary type answer to the situation. That's just a fact, right? When we do the one-on-ones, we're going to understand what your weakness is, right? If you're nervous, if you're scared, whatever, and we're going to work on those. We're going to work on it. We're going to work on it. Ask Marty. Marty's out of Arkansas. Marty, I'll give him like 3 or 4 phone calls, to follow up, on his one-on-one with me. And I make sure I do this because I want him to be successful. And he passed his interview 3 months ago because I kept hammering him with the same questions, asking about his behavior, asking him how he feels. I don't want him to be scared. And he stopped being scared. He was nervous, but he stopped being scared. He controlled the interview because he controlled himself. Marty had a tick. He'd always do his shoulder like this sometimes, right? Because he was nervous, right? You guys do it with your knees. I see it all the time with your knees. All that crap stops because we're going to practice it. You want to be calm, cool, humble, collected, and intelligent, right? Hands in front of you, back straight. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. And you answer the question like that. That's how you do it, guys. We need to practice that, though, in the one-on-one. Number 4, you're not preparing for the real-life scenarios. Now, if you take my prep exam, you will see I hammer you there hard on real life situations because that's what's going to happen to you on the real life exam, on the exam itself, right? You get a lot of those questions. Over 50% of the exam are based upon real life, okay? Same thing with the interview. They're going to ask you these questions, And what I teach in my one-on-one is STAR method: situation, task, action, result. That's what I teach. Each one I'll break down for you in the one-on-one, tell you how to answer the question using STAR. STAR is a great way to answer things. It's a great way to analyze. You have to analyze your answer before you give it. This is split second though, right? You gotta be fast, right? Because they can't ask you, hey, Jerry, you see 3 guys in a car. One guy hops out real quick. What do you do? Oh, geez. That's kind of a rough one. No. The mind has to be preset for these situations. Understand? You're not going to get the same situations you get from my prep exam or maybe the actual exam, but you have to be situational ready, right? Which is what? Situational aware, right? That's what's going to come at you. This is why I hammer you on the one-on-one with my questions, because I want to see how you answer them. It's so important to get that done. You want to use STAR without freezing. Oh gosh, that's a good question, sir. No, you don't want to do that at all. Thank you, sir, for the question. I do really appreciate that. What I would do is boom, 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 done. That's how you do a STAR, okay? You're done. You say, thank you for the question. You will answer it very solidly, and you're done. The 5th one is this. Sometimes you guys are contradicting yourselves. Don't do that. If you give an answer and you feel it's right, you stay with the question, with the answer, right? If it's the right answer. Now, sometimes I'm going to purposely deceive you on the one-on-one because I know they do the same thing, all right? So sometimes I'm going to ask you, are you sure about that? Are you positive about that? Even if your answer is right, I'm still going to ask you, is it right? This shows confidence in your way you answer a question. It shows independent thinking, right? It shows a belief in self. These things are necessary for a BPI agent or a CBP officer because a lot of times you guys are by yourselves. And when you wear the uniform, It's not like a civilian. And my job, if someone doesn't know anything, it's okay. We can teach them, no one's life is a danger. It's a very civilian environment. Your job's not like that. CBP, Border Patrol agents must be solid and firm in their decision making almost each and every time, because lives are in jeopardy, because policies cannot be broken, because you have to have an integrity-filled behavior attitude out there in the field. So do not contradict yourself at the interview. A huge one here, number 6, is you're not demonstrating core competencies. So what do I mean? It kind of ties into number 5, judgment, integrity. Those are huge ones. Conflict resolution, accountability. Those are huge ones. The one-on-one I set up is designed to make sure you understand how to execute those. If they do not hear you talking about judgment, right? Integrity, compatibility, confidence, you're not going to pass. This is why they have a 40+% fail rate at the interview phase. People think, yeah, I passed the exam, no problem, the interview shouldn't be that hard. Wrong. The exam has a 52% fail rate alone. 52% fail rate, okay? The interview has a plus 40% fail rate. So you're getting maybe 10, 20% people who are passing through and going on from there. There's a reason why it's like that. They only want the best for the best that they can get, right? So anybody can take the test. Anybody can apply, right? Anybody can take the test, but only half make it. Of that, half of that make it through the interview phase, understand? This tells you what an awesome agency you're joining to have those kind of strict rules, right? When I was a kid, I worked at McDonald's. Heck, everybody worked at McDonald's, right? There wasn't really much to pass. If you have a pulse and you're breathing, you're fine. You can work there. No big deal. Not the same. This is why I hammer home my link down below to pass the CBP exam. There's a link down there for that. It's a test for you. Is also with me now. Do a one-on-one with me as well. A one-on-one. I don't mean a video of me talking to you and goodbye. It's a one-on-one live. This is my 14th, 12th time around doing this. I've done this many times before. I had to shut it off because I got too many people applying for it, trying to get a one-on-one, and now it's open again. But I'm not sure how long it's going to be open until I get filled up again, and I got to cut it off again, okay? So I just want to tell you. The last one here is this. People are underestimating the exam because they passed the interview because they passed the exam. Don't underestimate anything in this process. Even when you fill your application, it has to be truthful because there's a connection. I say this in every single video. The application information connects to the exam information. Understand? The exam information connects to the polygraph, connects to the background check. It all has to be true, right? Has to be true, because you see in the mission statement, they talk about integrity all the time. There's a reason why they do that, because you have to have a lot of integrity to wear those uniforms, to wear that badge, to represent that CBP, right? You have to have a lot of integrity. That's why they do that. So you guys have to understand those 7 reasons are the reasons why 40% plus are not passing the interview. That's why. If you want to pass that interview, if you want to understand how that works, if you want to be grilled like a professional at the interview, click the link down below, make a meeting with me for a one-on-one, and we'll get it done.